because it comes at my request of Ian and Graham. But in the recurring theme of the day here has been no surprises and advance warning and so forth. And what I asked them to try to do is to come up with sort of a dashboard of consent applications, compliance issues, et cetera, that we could sort of review at least every time this committee meets. And if you find it useful, it could arguably be prepared monthly or something like that. But the thought was, here in one place is a indication of some of the more sensitive activities that are underway that councilors might want to be aware of, have an opportunity to check in on or ask questions about or talk to a staff person about or what have you. So is there more to say about it, Ian?
It's a fine introduction, Chair. It is our first attempt, so we're happy to get your feedback on what you think is missing. So Mr. Miller's here to talk to consenting matters, and the thinking is really, rather than preparing endless papers, this brings it together quickly. You can ask questions of it. If a paper generates out of it, we can go away and do that, but it's about efficiency. I'll just note Wayne is coming back. He's wandered off before I could get his attention to answer questions around compliance matters, because I do note that's what is missing from that table is the sewage breach from Napier City into the estuary, and it's on the, so it may be that we can cover that off in this item quickly when Wayne comes back. So yeah, Malcolm's here, Wayne's just arrived, so they're going to come up the front, and happy to take any questions.
And also, I think even there are occasional science projects underway that we'd like to be foreshadowed that, oh yes, we are looking at we're 3 months away from a report on climate impacts, or we're 2 months away from a report on wetlands.
And
So
that comes into the, sorry, I just focused on the front page, the second page, which is the operational, we've called it kind of projects of significance, which is Gary's work as well. So those three gentlemen, Stephen Swaby would be here for science, I'll fill in his absence. But absolutely that's just keep you aware of it, and like I say, very happy to get your feedback on what you think is missing or how we could do it better.
Perhaps one, Mr. Chair. Sorry.
Before, thank you, Chair. Before Councillor Curtin starts his grilling, I assume on the estuary. My question is, what's your test for significance for something that goes into this table?
Well, and you know, how long is a piece of string, and that's why I'm happy to be guided. I don't want to fill. We could fill up this document. You know, if you want a lot of material, well, we can give it to you in spades. It's really us trying to assess what we think is sensitive, i.e. you're going to be approached by people in the community, you're going to be asked questions that you would want answers to, or we'll try and put it in here so we can give you the answers or answer the questions you're getting. And I'm also happy that if you think you would like an update on something, we'll email me and we'll add it in here and just put a line in to say, well, that's where it's at. It's a bit iterative.
I think also in our space was also some of these are fairly long-term programs, so it's a little bit that we may give you, something at the start and something that sort of stretches over 2 or 3 years. It's a little bit of an update and a stock take on that. There was a discussion between ourselves and the chairman around, well, what of these are of scale or significance to bring to you as a separate paper, as opposed to something's finished. If you have an interest, we can provide it, or steer you to a website or something. So we are attempting to determine what's of perhaps lesser significance that's on this that we can talk about, as opposed to as Ian said, the large discrete papers we will bring to you. So it's it is a work in progress on that basis.
Well, Mr. Chair, just a really good format, and appreciate that, and quite happy to be guided by your best judgment around what is significant and what's not. It is in the context of that sort of no surprises discussion we've had. I wonder whether an addition might be, and if you can tell me if it's out of order, but if we were able to understand any legal litigation going on and progress on that, perhaps another little table, short table there that says this case is proceeded to court and we're doing X, Y and Z. Would that help, or is it?
We can certainly make it clear in the narrative around any compliance matters. So if it's a consenting matter where it's gone to hearing, or it's going through some other legal process, we can make sure that's specifically addressed, and the same in the compliance matters. You know, the stage that it's at, if it's active litigation or there's exchanges of evidence, or just give you an indication of where it is in the process. Yeah.
Any other thoughts, comments worth doing? Yes?
Very useful.
All right, well then, all we're going to do is receive this one, I guess. No, listen, any questions on any of the items? Speak now, or? Okay, all right. Happy to have you accept this as a very complete and self-explanatory piece of work. Would you so move?
I so move.
Okay.
I commend the chair for his excellent judgment and leadership. I'll second that.
And a second, okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I think we have finished the agenda.
No.
No, what did we have left?
The history information matters of
Ah, yes, we skipped you in the morning under urgent items of business. Over to you, Councillor Curtin.
Just an update, Ian.
Yeah, so I can provide you with that. I'm not sure where we were with it. That, as you will be aware, that must be about four weeks ago now, there was the Napier City Council contacted us with their intention that they were going to discharge some untreated sewage into the, I think it was the county drain, because they were having some problems with their stormwater network and their ability to handle the rain. Immediately then they did that, we then requested from them a report on to all the circumstances behind that. I then went away on leave and I came back and we still hadn't received the report, and that was last week. So chased them up twice in the last week, and I actually got it this morning. So I had a quick read of it while I was sitting in the back of the chambers this morning, and there's it goes through essentially what they say happened, but there's a lot of information in there which I know that we can double check with information we have, and I'll be looking at that tomorrow, and no doubt there'll be some more questions being asked of them. The most obvious questions will be, why didn't your stormwater system handle, or why wasn't it designed or maybe maintained to the standard where it would have handled this kind of situation. Just an early read of the report, it talked about something to do with capacity of their BTF system out there in Awatoto. So I don't quite understand how that translates into discharging into the Ahurea estuary, but we'll get to the bottom of that, and we'll keep you certainly keep you posted on it.
I wonder if you could, excuse me, Mr. Chair, we could specifically request information around reports, and some came to me personally, about sewage backing up through toilets and the like, and in one particular case through a kindergarten, which was awash with fecal matter.
In the report that I read this morning, it only alluded to kind of situations like that around the Wycliffe area. It did not specifically talk about, like, say, kindergarten or whatever. So that degree of specificity is not in that report. But
can we pursue that with some
most certainly
alacrity?
that will be my first priority in the morning, to chase that up.
I mean, the issue there is, if we talk about our highest priority being drinking water, then perhaps the next risk to public safety is wastewater in those third world conditions.
And infrastructure.
Poop-free kindergartens.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I've just questioned Wayne. Do you know why they dumped it in the county drain as opposed to putting it into the cross-country drain, in which case it would have gone straight out to sea?
I think it may have something to do with the location of where the backup was, where the backup was, I think. But I'll certainly be looking at that too to see why that
Let
was.
us know in due course.
Yeah.
Councillor Bailey?
Yeah, I assume you'll be able to report back to us at some stage as to the findings of your investigation,
certainly.
and if so, have you got a rough idea as to time frame?
My investigation will be reasonably quick. It'll lead to the response, how soon it is I get the response from across the road, but within the month at least, and as quick as we can. So we'll probably be, as I say, without looking at that report, I'm not sure exactly what else I need to ask them, but as I say, be utmost urgency.
Are you able to report back to, I know Councillor Curtin and I have got a particular interest in this, but report back to us by email or to another meeting or something?
Yeah, I would imagine that we can let you know directly, you know, as long as it's not going to go to a prosecution, then we could provide that information, you know, basically straight away as soon as
Yep.
we've had a look at it. Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You satisfied?
Yeah, I'm very,
Yep.
very satisfied
Very satisfied.
with that answer, but I would make the point that the delay from our colleagues across the way is symptomatic and reflective of a similar situation here. I mean, we could easily overlook this until it really bites us in the backside some way down the track. So, you know, we need to be all over it and really persistent with our consent holders around it.
No, certainly, I agree.
No other comments? I call the meeting closed, adjourned, whatever the right terminology is.
Other than